This year gaming started off with a bang and then kind of went, eh. Will this month pick up the pieces of the last couple? I'm Falcon, and today on Game Ranks, the big games of December 2017. Number 10 is Hello Neighbor, which is a highly stylized survival horror game that doesn't necessarily play to the horror element a lot until you get immersed in the environment, and then it's terrifying. The style of it is more along the lines of something that you would think to be visually nice and pleasing, but as you get ingrained in the gameplay mechanics and sound design especially, this is a game that will scare the ever-loving bejesus out of you. Now obviously just being scary isn't enough, but the gameplay mechanic of having to sneak into a neighbor's house to uncover something horrible they're doing in their basement is such a refreshing and fun idea, and it's executed smoothly with just a perfect balance of that arcadey Doom physics with sort of stealth-based gameplay. The actual official release of this incredibly satisfying game comes out in December. Look out for it, it's great. Number 9 is The Surge: A Walk in a Park, which is an expansion to the kind of techno-based, Soulsborne-style action RPG that takes that style of gameplay to an amusement park in a post-machine apocalypse world. Now, I won't do too many spoilers, but the theme park that you traverse was built by the same corporation that, sucks. Now, The Surge isn't a perfect game by any means, but I think The Surge is a compelling, interesting game that isn't perfect, but is tremendously fun and visually very, very cool. Number 8 is Resident Evil, which has 2 expansions coming on the same day, Not a Hero and End of Zoe. Not a Hero being what happens more directly after the game with And You've Been Waiting for This. Chris Redfield, oh, he back. That one is actually going to be free, but the same day End of Zoe is coming out, which is sort of a standalone episode that'll end up costing $15, or you'll get it included in the season pass if you bought that. I do think this is kind of a good time to bring up just how good Resident Evil 7 is. If you haven't played it, this would probably be a good time to do it, because you get more expansion on the story for free with the Not a Hero DLC, and there's more tales to be told within the in-game universe. Resident Evil 7 is flat out amazing. I love the hell out of this game. It is so good. You will not see me miss an opportunity to sing this game's praises, so take this as a good reason to play it. Number 7 is Okami HD, which is a game that will scratch the nostalgia itch for anybody, at least anybody who likes the same kinds of games I like. This was a game that filled a void for people who didn't buy a Nintendo platform that generation. It's very much like Ocarina of Time, except for, I would argue, actually probably a little bit better of a game. It's more stylistic, it takes a lot more risks with the story, environments, and actual systems, and one could even view this as a forerunner to a lot of the Platinum Games games that we love, now. After all, Hideki Kamiya, the Platinum Games guy, wrote this game. That's not to say it's a full-blown forerunner, but in a lot of ways it's very similar to both Nintendo's Legend of Zelda and Platinum Games' later titles. This one holds a special place in my heart, and I've always hoped for a sequel. Apparently, Kamiya does have ideas for one, so maybe this re-release, if it does well enough, might make one happen? I can hope. Number 6 is Destiny 2: Curse of Osiris, which is coming with some pretty high expectations. I think how Destiny 2, outside of all the economy stuff in the game, has actually been pretty damn good. Now, supposedly, this update, the Curse of Osiris expansion, is going to do some things with the economy that we don't have a full grasp on yet, but we do know just how many complaints they have received, and being they have to keep the Destiny audience happy in an ongoing fashion, my hope is that maybe they're fixing the economy to be a little more fair? This is one of those things where it's great that Battleborn blew up in EA's face, because it may end up actually making the industry fix this crap. It's not just EA's problem, it's everyone's problem. And thinking about that and the prospect that there could be a very good Destiny that has a better economy and doesn't distract us from the fact that the actual core game of this is enjoyable as hell. With the addition of new content, of course, that's the point of an expansion. I gotta say I'm looking forward to this. I hope it's what it sounds like it may be. Number 5 is Doom VFR, and I have to say I'm a little bit skeptical about this one. I do not love the movement system that Bethesda VR titles are using, but I do have to say I like the scenario they're using for Doom VFR, in which you're a scientist who is killed and is sort of resurrected within the AI, and has the ability to take control of anything that's AI controlled. Now, various people have told me that various controllers will implement different types of control, so it may be that my skepticism is misplaced, but the footage I've seen of the game doesn't have me excited for that system. However, I love Doom. I especially love the new Doom. They did such a good job rebooting this game and making it into something that just works incredibly well. I'm willing to give this a spin and give it its proper due. Number 4 is appropriately Dead Rising 4, Frank's Big Package. Now that may sound like a DLC, but let me be straight here, it is the entirety of Dead Rising 4, no longer being an Xbox One console exclusive. Frank's Big Package is coming to PlayStation 4, and it includes all of the downloadable content as well as a new Capcom Heroes game mode, which puts some pretty absurd clothing choices on old Frank. Now, Dead Rising 4 is a great game, and it's fantastic that it's finally going to be available for everyone. The voice acting change is still a little jarring for me, but the game more than makes up for it by bringing back some of the absurdity that we've kind of missed since the first. Number 3, Fallout 4 VR, and I'm just going to go ahead and say I have the same problem here as I do with Doom VR. That being said, Fallout is a lot less dependent on the movement system. I'm a little bit more willing to immediately accept the idea that the movement system will be a lot different, because for me, Fallout is a lot more about all of the locations, the characters, the story, all of these interesting bits of information and lore that one can cobble together, and frankly, the VAT system, I think, is just custom built for VR. I think it's notable that with both of the VR titles I've covered here today, there are major reservations I have, but they're both properties I like so much that I'm willing to give a roll. So, I mean, it's worth a try. I'd like for it to be good, obviously, and that is my hope. Number 2 is Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and yes, Xenoblade Chronicles 2! Now, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 takes place in an entirely new world with new characters, new story, new everything. But we all know that Xenoblade Chronicles 1 is a phenomenal game, just the JRPG we all wanted, and now we're getting a second one that, in all honesty, looks like in a lot of ways will be an upgrade. I can't tell you as if the story will be better, but everything I've seen of the actual gameplay indicates to me that this is going to be a better game. Now, they've said they've streamlined the combat system, and for me, it looks a lot more polished. I can't really judge it because I haven't been able to play it yet. I'm looking forward to its release, but it's easily the game I want most, probably in December on the Nintendo Switch. Give me this game, thank you. And finally, number 1 is PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, which is hitting the Xbox One. I mean, obviously the game is out on PC, but being able to play it on the console and TV without any actual extra stuff, to say the very least, I am quite excited for it. Battlegrounds is basically the founding game of the Battle Royale genre, in which you're dropped onto an island with 99 other people and have to be the last one standing in an ever-shrinking game area. It really is basically that simple, but there's something about Battlegrounds that just absolutely nails the kind of game I want in first-person shooters. And you can play it third-person if you want. It's arcadey, but the scale is pretty big. It's hardcore, but I feel like I can just pick it up and play. Your opponents are always much sneakier than artificial intelligence, and there's always a lot more than if you were playing a linear game. Not that linear games are bad, I actually prefer them most of the time, but this is the type of game that would get me out of that. Battlegrounds is fun as hell, and I'll be playing it on the Xbox One as well. What are you most excited for with December's game lineup? Leave us a comment, tell us what you think, and if you like this video, please click the button. If you're not subscribed now, would be a great time to do so. We upload brand new videos every day of the week, and the best way to see them first is, of course, a subscription. As always, we thank you very much for watching this video. I'm Falcon. You can follow me on Twitter at Falcon the Hero, and we'll see you next time right here on GameRanks.